Hey, it's Dr. J. Hi, students. So, as I promised, here is the first lecture for Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is Management in a Diverse Workplace. Okay, some learning objectives we're going to cover defining management, describing the levels of management, discussing the functions of management, explaining the roles of a manager, describing the skills required to perform work of a management, explaining how principles of management are developed, defining the glass ceiling, explaining diversity, defining entrepreneurship, defining small business, and outlining 3 requirements of encouraging entrepreneurship in a medium-based to large organization. So that's a lot of learning objectives to cover. I'm going to give you an overview of these topics. So the first one is, what is management? Okay, well, management is a couple of different things. Management is the form of work that involves deciding the best ways to use an organization's resources and to produce goods or provide services. So in a nutshell, management is a couple of different things. It is the ability to manage people, an organization, processes, principles, policies, all that good stuff. Now, it can be a little overwhelming when you think about management as it pertains to a function as management to an actual organization. So those are 2 separate things, okay? The different levels of management. So you have lower level, upper level, and then senior level. So the book talks about senior level management being top or senior management, having various important functions, okay? It establishes the mission's goals of the organization, strategies, and the organizational development principles. Okay, so overall, it is about ensuring that the goals of the organization are met. Okay, all right. Talking about middle management, that is an overview. Is responsible for meeting the goals of senior management's, standards. Basically, the middle managers ensure that they're communicating properly with the senior managers and that they're meeting the objectives of the mission statement, of the organizational principles, all that good stuff. And then you have supervisory management, which makes sure that the day-to-day organizational functions are ran smoothly and that they're properly equated to what the employees should expect on a day-to-day basis. So for an example, if you are a senior manager or a supervisor manager, you're responsible to make sure that the employees understand what they're supposed to do in the organization for that particular day, week, month, year. All right? So it's like a trickle-down effect. The top managers tell you that, here are the objectives and the goals for the year. All right? The middle managers break those objectives down into digestible pieces of functions and goals that you can actually do. So if you have a top management objective of, I want to grow revenue, okay? The middle manager says, okay, well, here's some ideas to help grow revenue for the company or the organization. And then that information gets dispersed down to the supervisory manager who says, all right, here's what we're going to do to ensure that the organization has, growth in revenue. We're able to satisfy customers' needs. We're, beating our competitors, all that good stuff. All right? Management tasks. So some management tasks that the book goes over is planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. So I'm going to go over those quickly. So planning is just that. It is the outline it's the outline of goals and objectives that an organization plans on doing, right? It's an idea. It's a theory of, okay, here's the goal, right? We want to plan to meet this goal by doing these actions. And then they outline the actions. Then you go to organizing. So once you plan your goal and you're able to, realize, okay, this is what we want to do, you're going to go ahead and you're going to start organizing. So you're going to create teams. You're going to create committees. You're going to make sure that people understand, how this is going to be structured in order to meet the goal of the top manager. Okay. Then the staffing. So staffing is normally done by HR, but sometimes hiring managers in different organizations have a part in, who gets the position, who gets, promoted, things like that. So a manager decides how many and what kind of people the organization needs to meet its goals. So for instance, a human resources specialist would advertise a position for a project manager. Okay, so for a project manager, you need specific certifications, education, experience, things like that, accreditations, and then you would go into the interview stages of asking everybody the same exact questions, because ethically and based on human resources policy, you're supposed to ask the exact same questions of interviewees, and then deciding on who gets the job. Okay, leading. So leading is something that is not really equatable to a managerial task unless you are a natural leader. Some managers lead, some managers are just, great planners. So it just depends. But the book outlines leading as a manager providing guidance to employees that is needed to perform their task. That's super open-ended. I prefer to look at leading like it is a skill, it's a character, it's a professional character trait. So either you know how to lead or you don't. Some people are great at following because they're good at taking directions, and it's just how their personality functions, versus leading is a more dominant personality trait. Okay? Controlling. All right, controlling is when the book's talking about controlling, it's talking about events, processes, making sure that things are controlled in the sense of, all right, there's a process and a procedure to everything that's happening. All right. Then we're going to go into managerial skills. So there's conceptual skills, there's human relationship skills, and technical skills. So conceptual skills involve lots of decision making, planning, organizing, management activities, and so on. Human relation skills outline that character trait I was telling you about, leadership. So you have the ability to effectively embed leadership skills into whatever they're doing. So if they're, in a meeting, then they're going to take the lead on a particular project. And then technical skills. Those are skills that people have specifically to a certain ability, i.e. information technology, okay, or completing, software development or something like that. All right. Principles of management. All right. A principle is a basic truth or a law. That's all it says. So the principles and concepts of this particular chapter is managerial skills, middle management skills, and supervisory skills. All right. The principles outline the basic idea of developmental principles of management that are sometimes more complicated, but can be developed with scientific principles. So you can create principles to have employees understand and go by, or you can sorry, I lost my train of thought. Or you can brainstorm to create certain principles of effect for employee environment, relations, how things will function within the organization. All right. Then we're going to get into diversity and management. So diversity and management go hand in hand with EEO, and EEO is equal opportunity, employee equal opportunity. So when you're looking at this, you're thinking of not only in race, you're thinking of in gender and religion and learning capabilities, things like that. When I think of learning capabilities, I talk about ADA compliance, which is the Americans Disability Act. Okay, so what is diversity? Diversity is the workforce that means including people in different genders, races, religions, nationalities, ethnic groups, age groups, and physical abilities. All right. Now to entrepreneurship and management. So entrepreneurship is something that is looked on favorably, especially if you want to own your own business. It's a lucrative career. It's open because it gives you the opportunity to really learn and grasp and understand certain things. Okay. Also, entrepreneurships are people who launch and run their own businesses. So that's just one in a nutshell. When they start out, they must provide or they must perform many of the basic management functions because they don't have anybody else to do that for them. Okay? All right. So the importance of small businesses. The SBA, the Small Business Administration, is a government agency that lends money to small businesses. Considers small businesses anything less than 100 employees. It says 100, but technically it's 500 now. So anything less than 500 employees is technically a small business. All right, so that was chapter 1, which was, I want to say management, right? Yes, management in a diverse workforce. All right, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to email me, call me, or come by my office. I'm in the Clearwater campus, Building BT, Office 102. Have a wonderful day.